so far. Here we go. All right, no hands. All right. Good morning. Salutations and everything or anything you use to say to get your day started. I am your host today, Chosen. You know me, most people know me, uh, singer, songwriter, actor, all that good stuff, man. With Morning Table Talk with Lyric and Chosen. I'm Chosen. Um, at the helm again today. Got Malcolm in the room, special guest today, man. So I hope everybody's having a wonderful day. I hope everybody got up. It's 9:02 by this clock. Um, Whatever your clock say, if you can set your clock a little early or maybe back, if you gotta get to work at 9 o'clock, you already late 6 minutes. Hope you got that grace period. If not, enjoy your day off. I don't like you right now, and I'm just messing with you. But we're gonna get into this talk today. We got a tough topic today, man. I wanted to go over something because it's in the morning, give y'all a little something to think about, just a little breakfast, you know what I'm saying? So we're gonna go with the art of forgiveness. Why is forgiveness important? And who is forgiveness really for? You probably heard this topic um plenty of times before, but I guess you can never get tired of that. You know what I'm saying? Somebody need to know, what's the deal with the forgiveness and why is it important and who is it for? And but without further ado, you have I got the number pinned down here if you want to call in, weigh in on one of the topics today. So this is just like one of the topics. Um One of the topics we'll probably get into something later on. You know how this show pretty much goes, man. Somebody will call in and then we'll they'll suggest something else and then boom, there you have it. Now we talk about another thing. But what I wanted to get at was talking about forgiveness, man, the art of forgiveness. What does forgiveness yield? And how do you go about um forgiveness, forgiving people. I got Arsenio in the feed. What's good? Good morning, King. Good morning, brother. Donnie Wilson, I don't think he's still with me. Yeah, but y'all want to tap in, man, come sit in with me, chat with me, chop it up with me. If y'all want to call up, we're talking about the art of forgiveness. Why is forgiveness important? That's one thing that I'm gonna talk about. You know, After that, we're gonna freestyle, go into something else. We got Malcolm over here, he got everything um cool up on the screen, for all of our Facebook and YouTube listeners, and we finna get this thing started. So I guess for the few that are in here with me, forgiveness. How do some of y'all handle forgiveness? I know me as an individual, if I do say so myself, um, it's not that hard for me, to forgive. Because that's what that's what we're supposed to do. Somebody wrong you. I've never really been the type of person that had that the hold grudges for too long. Not saying that I never have held a grudge, but I just don't hold grudges for too long because I don't like nothing looming over my head. You know what I'm saying? I don't like nothing looming over my dome. Um, so it's not hard. I see Donnie Wilson is in here with me, and that's my brother. My business partner helped me out a lot with my music. Um, that me and him chop it up a lot about forgiveness and about a lot of other different things too. But I just want to tap in with y'all. Let's see what y'all thought about it, man. Why is forgiveness so important? You know, who this is. What's up, Angela? I see Angela in the highs, man. What's good? What's good? Got my three people so far. Y'all tapping in, y'all waking up. It's 9 o'clock. We getting ready to get it. We getting it started, man. Hope y'all day going well. Hope you done made it to your destinations safely. Angela, we talking about what's good. Yo, Angela, we talking about the art of forgiveness. Why is it so important to forgive and who is forgiveness really for? In my opinion, or I would say fact, though facts speak, for my life. Fact, forgiveness, it's for me, so that I can move forward. With things happen to people every day. Sometimes you might get crossed, but you can't let it cross you up, and you can't stay in the adversity of being mad, right? And sometimes you gotta, as we get older, more conscious, as we mature, we learn that, hey, certain things is not worth certain things not worth being tagged along or attached to us. It's dead weight, right? Yeah. So that's what that's to me, that's what forgiveness is for. That's why we forgive. And yeah. So like I said, we gonna set the stage, the floor right now for forgiveness. If y'all have any comments, when y'all comments roll in, I'm gonna read your comments. I'm gonna take your calls. I got the number right here pinned down if you want to call and weigh in on why forgiveness is important, and how do you forgive, or how do you forgive? We got 832-560-2885. 832-560-2885 if you want to call in. I'm live this morning on Instagram and Facebook. This is the Real Talk 100 morning table talk with Lyric and Chosen. Again, I'm your host, Chosen, singer, songwriter, actor, etc. I'm at the helm today. My host, she's not here with me today. So, we're just gonna do this thing like we normally do. We're gonna keep it rolling. The show goes on. Yeah. Got our first caller. Hey, good morning. This is the morning table talk with Lyric and Chosen. You are on the air. Who am I speaking with?
Hey, Chosen, it's Angela. How are you?
What is the deal, fam? What's good?
I had to call it. I hadn't been able to listen to your stuff because I've been having like really early meetings. Normally, I'm pretty kind of slow in the mornings, but I've been having like really early meetings these last few days, and I was like, ah. And every time I would see it, I'm like, oh, I want to be listening, but I can't.
Forgiven. See how easy that was?
Thank you.
You know what I'm saying?
Thank you.
You see how easy that was, man? Well, that's good.
Yes,
So how you,
definitely.
so how you doing this morning?
Uh, trying to keep busy. Got multiple things going on right now, trying to get everything back into the now that the new year is passed and all the holidays and just trying to get back into our routine. It's just,
Uh-huh.
trying to pick everything back up, get everything back in the groove. Um, you know, Stuff like that.
Yeah, ain't it funny how the last part of the year can kind of throw some stuff off and then take a little bit more gas for you to get everything back in the swing of things?
Yeah, it's been crazy, and then like the last part of the year, like it was just one. It seemed like it was one thing after another.
Yep.
Um, my truck, it didn't break down, but there was a part that needed to be changed, and of course we were scrambling to get that done because my daughter is she's going to school to be a pharmacy tech, so she couldn't be without a vehicle to get to school, so we were like hustling to get that taken care of and stuff like that, and then I was helping a um an ex coworker. She retired. She's an elderly. Well, I say elderly. She's 65, and she was in the hospital. And then after that, she went to a rehabilitation center. So I was helping her out, getting her settled in, going to her apartment, making sure her stuff because she's by herself. She doesn't have anybody. And then I don't know, between the hospital and her going to the rehabilitation center, I caught COVID. Didn't realize I had COVID. I thought it was just like a really bad sinus infection.
Uh-huh.
And then I went to my doctor and they're like, nope, you got COVID. And before I turned around, everybody in the house had it.
Wow.
I was like, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. That was me. My bad.
Mm. He said, up. There's another thing that you probably had to seek forgiveness for.
Yes, yes. I was like, I'm sorry, you guys. I'm so sorry. I did not know. I was like, I just thought it was, just a really bad sinus infection. My bad.
Right.
But luckily, it wasn't anything, um, too severe. And, it seemed like it was more so. It kind of had more of like a between like a little bit of symptoms of having like a sinus infection and like possibly maybe a slight flu kind of feeling, but it wasn't as bad as it was the first time we got it. Oh my God, that was horrible.
I don't know. I don't know if you noticed, but I know that I know. It's almost like the symptoms and the severity of COVID has changed since it first hit. Well, since we first encountered it, it was this big scare. It was almost like everybody wanted to. Everybody was watching all the movies like Contagion and Outbreak, and it was like, man, it's like COVID was like a death sentence compared to what it is now. It's like people catch COVID and they be like, oh, I got COVID. Like,
Yeah.
oh, you mean you got the
Like, I got a cold.
yeah, oh, you mean you got the super cold, right? So like everybody, because you remember the symptoms was like Malcolm, if you remember too, like the symptoms was okay, you couldn't taste no food, you couldn't smell nothing. It was like
No.
symptoms, and it was, and if you had any underlying conditions, it
Mhm.
amplified the underlying conditions, and people that was going into the hospitals, they couldn't get no visitors, and they didn't have enough. It was like wow,
Mhm.
like they really.
Yeah. My granddaughter, the 2-year-old, that stays with me with my daughter, Kimberly had COVID while she was pregnant with Monica,
Uh-huh.
and so she ended up catching pneumonia, and they went ahead and they induced her labor at a completely different hospital that she was supposed to even have the baby at. And so I went with her to the hospital, which was my biggest mistake because they gave me a band and then I didn't take it off.
Yeah.
And the next day when she went into labor, I walked in, they saw I had a band, they kicked me right back out.
Right.
But yeah. But this time it wasn't as bad. It wasn't as severe. Unfortunately, the babies did get it. They had like a fever of like 102 for a couple of days, but then after that, they were fine.
All right.
I was like, wow, how resilient the immune systems are of a like a toddler or baby compared to what our like what our systems are, where it takes us just a little bit longer to kind of jump out of it.
Right.
It was just crazy. But
Mhm.
yeah, and then after that, of course, my hubby gets into an accident. Somebody ran a red light and T-boned him, and then so he was out for a hot minute. Well, he's home still, but
Right.
he'll be heading back to work soon. So yeah, it just seemed like everything just one thing after another. But yeah.
Yeah, it'd be like that.
So I know you were on the topic of forgiveness. So I didn't get a chance to hear the last portion of what you were what you had commented on forgiveness. Because at the moment I changed over to call in and I didn't hear it. So could you kind of just reiterate what you said before, like a minute ago?
Yeah. So basically, so like yeah, like I said, is the topic is the art of forgiveness. Why is
Hmm.
forgiveness so important? Who do you believe or who do you think that forgiveness is for? And like, how hard or easy is it for you to forgive? I guess, too, you can say depending on what has been done, because
Hmm.
everything is like so, but it's just basically just up in the air, just saying, we talking about the art of forgiveness, how
Hmm.
how do you forgive, and who do you believe that the forgiveness is for?
Right. Well, in the way I look at life, and I think I preach this to my children a lot. Like, what I'm saying, like, forgiveness isn't for the other person. The forgiveness is for yourself. That's going to give you that peace of being able to say, okay, I'm just going to let it go. You know what I'm saying? Like, and not have that anger or anguish or resentment or whatever it may have been where you felt like your heart was broken or a promise was, not fulfilled for some reason.
Hmm.
Um, it's like you can sit there and dwell and sit there and badmouth the person and say, oh, this person did me wrong and da 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 da. At the end of the day, you know what? that person's going to sleep at night. You know what I'm saying? Like, if they know that, whether they know that they did you wrong or not, that person's going to sleep at night. They're not sitting up every night going, I did this person wrong, I can't sleep. Some people might, but for the most part, they're just going to move on. You know what I'm saying? And so it's up to you whether you want to move on with life and have peace and happiness and have some type of, at least you can say, you know what, I've forgiven this person for what they've done. It doesn't necessarily mean that I have to, confront that person and be like, hey, I forgive you. I forgive that person in my prayers. You know what I'm saying? And I am the type of person that will say, you know what, you did me wrong, but I wish you the best.
Right.
I wish you the best in whatever endeavors you encounter, because I know I'm a blessing. And if I'm in your life, that means I'm a blessing to you. You know what I'm saying? And if you don't know how to cherish a blessing, I'm sorry, that's between you and God. That has nothing to do with me. I know what God has given me as far as my talents, as far as, who I am, my personality, the type of person that I am, the type of people that I try to evolve around me. And I always try to look for the best in everybody. I think that is probably one of my biggest flaws, is that I look for the best in everybody. I look to try to guide them and tell them, like, hey, there's a positive to this. Let's look at the positive side to this. And if they keep continually going back to the negative, or if they keep continually going back to the
incident,
to the ways, or to the ways that they just seem to not want to release whatever, whatever they're holding inside, and they're not letting it go and finding that peace. Well, then it's just time for me to move around, because I can't have that negativity around me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, that drains my energy.
Yeah. It's like I can't. I feel exactly what I can't speak this morning. I had some weak coffee yet. Now, see, y'all can tell when I had some good strong coffee, I'll be on it. I had some weak coffee this morning, for real. But I get exactly what you're saying. Like, if you can forgive people's family. I think most of the time it's easy for us to like forgive family and give family chance after chance, and it's what it's like whenever they keep reverting back to old ways that not only hurt you but hurt the whole as a that hurt your family as a whole. It's like, at this, now you're disturbing my peace. I'm not giving up on you because of who you are. It's, I love you, but I gotta move around, or we gotta do something different because you're disturbing my peace now.
Right.
You bring, let's think about it. You got this lush meadow, this pasture, this field, and everything is good and green. But then you get this one bad thing that creates a blight. You try to treat it, and it's like, all right, it might be good for a minute to where it's died down and it can go back to being green and contribute to the green. But when you see that it's contributing to the to making the to killing off your vegetation, you got to be like, all right, man, I'm gonna have to get rid of this. Like,
right.
I got to get rid of this. I did what I could to try to keep you in this position, but now we got to do something different, because I can't let this one thing destroy the rest of the pasture. I can't let everything destroy. I can't let what you have bring to me destroy, what I got going on, and bring my vibrations and energy down.
Exactly. And I mean, and the way I kind of look at it is, sometimes in some scenarios you're guilty by association, even if you have nothing to, contribute to the way that they are, the way they act, or the type of personality or morals that they carry. But sometimes people are just guilty. They associate that with, oh, you hang out with this person, or you're related to this person, and this person, has done me wrong, and blah, blah, blah. So now you're having to prove to other people that you're not that type of person. So now you're trying to work twice as hard to kind of guard your, in my instance, like, now I have to work, 3 times as hard to try to guard our brand, so that people aren't saying, oh, because over here, associating with this person and they've done me wrong, I'm going to associate that because you associate with them, that's, what type of person you are. And in a lot of the circumstances, you're trying to help that person change, and they're not wanting to, which is fine. We're saying that people are going to change whenever they're ready. once they've spoken to whatever higher power that they've,
Is that a- Mhm.
brought into their life, whatever it may be, um, and they've come to realize, like, hey, life isn't all about being angry all the time, or having negativity all the time. Then I think that's when they'll realize that they need to move on and do better for themselves.
Yeah.
But until that time, it wouldn't matter, how much investing that you've done in that person, and like I said, I can forgive you in my prayers. I can wish you the best. If somebody comes in and tells me, AA, this person is negative, and this person is doing this, and this person is doing that, all I can say is, what, let's pray for them.
Mhm.
Let's pray for them. Let's hope that, they find their way, and they find, something that's going to make them, turn, be a better person in the future. Let's pray for them. But how are we going to resolve this? How are we going to move on? What are we going to do to fix your problem? Is it something I can help you with? You know what I'm saying? And let's just move on.
Right.
I mean, I'm not going to dwell on what they're doing, because it's not helping neither me or you. I've forgiven them for what they've done, and we've moved past it.
Yeah.
Now, where are we going to move on from now?
Right.
If there was an issue that was created, how can I help you? I'm sorry that happened to you, but how can I help you, move on with your issue?
Right.
Do we need to pray on it? I need to help you find forgiveness towards that person? Like, what can I do to help you?
Yep, because I can help you until I can help you until you hurt me.
Mm-hmm.
Start hurting me. Hey, hold on 1 second. Don't go nowhere.
Sure.
I'm gonna go. I just want to highlight this comment real quick. Arsenio,
Sure.
back up a little bit, because when we was talking about COVID, Arsenio said COVID's still around. It ain't went nowhere. We stuck with it for life. Yeah, I mean, cold. Yeah, we stuck with it for life. It's just super cold. I would give my 2 cents as to what I think COVID is and what COVID was. I mean, you know what COVID is, and the first initial encounter we had with COVID. But I would like to be on After Dark, where I could be after dark, where I could be evil. So,
I agree.
you know what I'm saying? So I tend to want to have it to where it's light. People need something to get their day started. I kind of want y'all to laugh. We can be a little serious and everything. So, but the thing with COVID, yeah, I agree, Arsenio. It's here for life.
Yep.
But I have it
just like the flu.
just like the cold. But I would, man, catch me on somebody if somebody ever give me the opportunity to come on the After Dark version of Real Talk Radio, dude, you're gonna see another side. I'm gonna say some stuff and all that, but I'm gonna keep it. I'm gonna be Clark Kent chosen right now. You know, be the cool, calm, make you laugh. I'm gonna be the Bruce Wayne chosen right now. And then, saying maybe on the After Dark, you might get you a little Lex Luthor chosen or a little Mr. Sinister, but right now I'm gonna be the hero. At night I'm the villain. But yeah, the whole COVID thing is it. But with the forgiveness, man, I think it's a really big thing, especially with the way everything is going. Now how different things have changed. Social media. You got people sending out subliminals and you can sending out subliminals and misunderstandings. I think forgiveness is cool too, is paramount too, because I know a lot of people that friendships and unions, they break up over misunderstandings. So
yes.
I think you have to listen, try to listen and not be so quick to be angry. And not so quick to think that you said something about how I want to address this. This is what I really want to go back to. You said how you feel like your ability to see the good in everybody is like your flaw. I'm that way too, but I had to stop looking at it as a flaw, because that's how the Most High operates. We were taught that that's how the Most High operates, is to see the good in everybody. So the only difference is the Most High is the creator. The Most High is what I'm talking about. The Most High created, the all creator created everything. So of course, the Most High can see into people to see what they really are. So that means that he's the good and the bad. But if it chooses to see the good in you, I don't think that's a flaw. It's a trait that's been passed down from the Most High to us. as
Right.
as sapient beings, and we do that. So I wouldn't call it a flaw because I do that too. Because it's like
Yeah.
I have, nobody's perfect. So if I
Right.
say, hey, you know, I can't be mad at you for who you really are,
Right.
is what I'm gonna say. I can't be mad at you for who you are. Is if I have that love for you, I want to try to speak as much positivity to you so that hopefully you can go away from your negative, because that's what the whole point of being the best version of yourself is. It's to
Right.
diminish the negative things about you so that you can highlight the positive. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
yeah. So let me get this comment. I got another comment. I got you on for a good while because it's like, it's I don't have a lot of traffic right now. So, I can talk to you a little bit more. So I got a comment from Donnie Wilson, my brother. So he says the art of forgiveness is important because because it allows for responses and reactions to life to be productive and informative. I agree with that totally.
I agree.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. And if y'all don't know, but me and Donnie Wilson, man, we chop it up. Man, we used to talk like every day, but life be lifing. So, sometimes you don't get to chop it up with the people every day, all the time like we used to. When me and him would have a powwow for about an hour at least every day. That's my brother, like I said. And matter of fact, he's that's the producer of your favorite song right there, Donnie Wilson. That's the one that produced Elevate. Yeah,
Oh, I love that song.
that's who Donnie Wilson is.
Thank you. Thank you, Donnie.
Yeah. So man, me and him talk about that. Like forgiveness is important because everything in life happens for a reason, right?
Right.
So
I completely agree with that.
every,
And I preach that all the time. Everything in life happens for a reason. I don't know what the reason is. We may not know today. We may not know tomorrow. But you know what? From a month from now, something's going to happen. You could be like, oh, that's why that happened.
that's it.
Or this why that scenario took place like that.
Mhm.
And if it's the one thing that I can say that I pray on every night before I go to bed is, God, make sure you open my eyes to people that are not supposed to be around me. Open my eyes to anything that's that I can't see. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, because and I can't be everybody's eyes 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So just show me stuff that I'm supposed to see.
Right.
Because if it's one thing, Robert is probably the one person that will say this a lot. Like, I notice everything. I notice people's demeanors. I notice people's reactions when other people are speaking. Their body language. I can tell when somebody's like annoyed. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Angela.
So like, yeah.
Give me just a second. I have to answer the call.
Okay.
I'll be right back.
All right, it's the morning table talk with Lyric and Chosen. Who am I speaking with? Let's talk about it.
It's Donnie, man.
Hey, Big Nick, what's good, man?
What's happening with you, bro? What's going on, man?
Yeah, you got it. What's good?
Hey, just calling in to talk about, a subject, one of my favorite subjects, forgiveness.
Hey, I'm glad I chose it then.
For sure. Yeah, that's one of my favorite subjects because it all starts with forgiving yourself. And when you forgive yourself, that opens up the opportunity for you to be able to grow and to learn from forgiving others. It's just all about knowledge and wisdom of self. That's where forgiveness starts.
Right.
It's a very important issue.
Yeah. Hey, hold on 1 second. Don't go nowhere. We get right back with you when we go back to this other call and conclude that, and then I'm gonna get right back with you.
Oh, really?
All right.
All right.
Hey, Angie, you still with me?
Yes, sir.
All right. Hey, I got another call, and yeah, I appreciate you calling in and weighing in. Good talk as always.
As always.
Yeah, man. You have a wonderful day, and
You too.
Continue to tune in. I appreciate your support and love, fam. Appreciate you. Tell everybody.
Oh, definitely.
I talked to Rob yesterday. I had a chance to get in touch with him yesterday, man. So that was a real good.
Yeah.
That was a real good connect.
Angela.
And before I let you go, I just have one last comment. Promise.
All right.
when communicating, there's an art of communication. You know what I'm saying? And it's like that's another thing that's gonna factor in that forgiveness part, because the art of communication is what's gonna enable you to communicate effectively,
Right.
so that the other person can understand where you're coming from.
Yep.
So that's all I wanted to throw in there. But yeah, thank you guys, and I'll be listening in. I'm gonna not stop. So
All right.
Angela, this is Malcolm.
yes, sir.
This is Malcolm. Before you go, I saw your text about the show, about the upcoming
Yeah.
event. If you would please text 936-333-1969 and tell Lisa who you are,
Okay, I will.
and let her coordinate it. Okay.
Got you.
All right. You have a good day.
All right.
All right.
You too. Bye.
Bye. All right, Donnie, you still with me?
Yeah.
All right. Hold on 1 second. Let me get this comment real quick. Said I got a comment, man. My boy Super Dave's like, throw salt in front of you. Throw salt in front of your door keeps people who ain't before you coming to your house. Yeah, that is old school, man. That's how you get it. That was what we used to say. That's how you keep demons away. I feel that, David. But yeah, go ahead with what you were saying, bro. You know, we was talking about, you know, how forgiveness is important.
Yeah, it's one of my favorite subjects in life. You know, it starts with forgiving yourself. That's what the art of forgiveness starts with, and that's how you grow in oneself. You know, and when you are forgiving others, that means that you have grown to forgive yourself, and that's kind of where it starts. And when you know who you are, then you're responding or reacting is what life is all about. It's not about what happens to you, it's about how you respond to it.
Yeah.
And that's where your growth comes from.
Yeah, that is where you go. You know, me and you talk about that all the time, man. You know, for the last few years, you know, when we, you know, still sharp and still, when you was helping me with some things I was going through, you know, you added some extra stuff as to what, you know, what I already had. And I think that I'm not gonna say think, but I know that when you're dealing with certain situations, you know me, I don't like having stuff looming over my head. Like I don't if I want to, you know, if I'm trying to get rid of something, I'm trying to bury the hatchet right, like real quick and in a hurry, because even if I gotta take a little bit of the the hit just to get over something after I've done the forgiving, you know me, I'm willing to do that. So but as far as you saying, yeah, you got to forgive yourself too. That's part of that accountability too, you know, and not being prideful to be like, yeah, you know, I know my part in this, so let me I know my part in this too, so let me go ahead and forgive myself for that, so that I can be better for not just for myself but for the whole.
Definitely, that's kind of where it starts, because you know me, I'm a knower before I'm a believer.
Yeah.
Things that I know is where my beliefs come from. A lot of people do that just the opposite, and that's where the conflict and the confusion comes in at, because people will believe certain things and they won't know it. You know, and my theory and my philosophy about that is that if you don't know it yet, then you hadn't got to that part of your purpose. And when you're not at that part of your purpose, and then you're having a conflict with someone, or you're having a difference of opinion of someone, and it seems as though that person's opinion affects, you know, your outcome of whatever it is that you're trying to do, then you got to go back into self, and you got to know yourself in whatever that's being presented to you, because the universe don't present you anything, you know, by accident.
Oh yeah.
So
right.
Once it gets presented to you, you don't take it, you know, you don't take it personal. You grow.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes when that person comes at you a certain way, a lot of times you don't even really have to forgive, because you look at yourself first, and then you don't, you know, the messenger is not where the message is. They delivering the message, but that's not where the message is coming from. The message is coming from you. You know, and so when you're looking at the message coming from you, because stuff resonates a certain way, and so you don't have to forgive, but that will be a part of your knowledge about yourself. And what I mean by that is that forgiveness will already be, you know, it will be there, but you don't have to go through the process, the emotional process, because you're finding out about who you are with what it is that didn't resonate with you, with whomever that individual or entity is, or whatever they came at you with. It's all about growth. It's all about life. It's stuff that is identifiable within you. You know, you just have not got on that frequency yet.
Yeah. Yep. I agree with that. But you said something, and I would say it's not so much of a difference, but I guess in comparison to what you said, and you said you will know before you believe it. In my case, I believe until I know, because the belief starts the question, and then the question leads to research, and then whenever that goes from the research and then knowing, then I come to know. Because at first I once believed, and then after I had so many questions, it got me to the point to where I had to where now I know. Because you know, like how we said before when we first started talking about it, was like when they said, well, hey, do you believe in the Most High? It was like I had to learn some things where I no longer believe in the Most High. I know that there is. So I think I wanted to point that out. That's a little bit of a difference with me, because when you say you a knower before you a believer, I'm more of I believe before I know.
Well, I use the word resonate.
Yeah.
Things resonate with me really well. With that, you know, that I'm on the same frequency of, it resonates with me. I wouldn't say believe initially. I would say resonate. And it's kind of the same concept. When something resonates with you, you know, you have that, you know, you feel that energy from that in which, you know, we've been passing information the past few days about things that we both, you know, resonate with.
Yeah.
That we both, and then I told you that I believe in those things, and then you say, hey, check this out, man. Here's the things you believe in, but those are things that I knew. And the information, I knew it, but at the same time, I still was able to grow from it, because it was my response to the information that you gave me that I already know, that I grew from.
I think it was just more confirmation. Like it's like I think at first you once believed, but then the more and more you grew in it, because to me, belief is like, it's like when people tell me that they believe in something, or I believe in this, it means that what is it? It's there's room for doubt. Belief is something,
right?
You know, it's room for doubt. It's like I believe. You're not exactly sure as to what it is until you get to that level of confirmation to where, you know, it's like, now, you know, I don't just believe now. I know this now. You know what I'm saying? I know what it is. It's now I don't believe it. It's like nothing can contest what I've uncovered about this. So
it's so important. It is very important, because a lot of times when the forgiveness part comes in, someone will give you information about another person or another situation, right?
Yeah.
That you don't know anything about, and then some people form an opinion from that, and then a lot of times that could be a life-changing situation that you got the information from, you believed in, but then it just wasn't the right thing that you should have been believing in, and people live their life off of that.
Yeah, well, see, because what you should have did was, if you started believing in it, what you should have did was just go ahead and take that tumble down the rabbit hole, so you could research it and know for yourself. And once you find that stuff out for yourself, then you can be like, can't nobody really shake you on what you've unearthed, because now you have facts. And you know, now you got facts. And when you have, to me, facts always gonna turn belief into know. And know is just a prefix to the word knowledge. So so when you get them facts, you start knowing, and that knowledge is hard. You know, that knowledge is concrete, definite.
Definitely. That's why I say I use the term resonate. Because when things resonate with me, right, a lot of times they come from the same feeling of things that I know. But I don't, until I confirm them, I go from resonate to know to believe. Because if I'm passionate about something, you know, that I learned or that I experienced from what I know, then and somebody comes at me with something different from what I learned or I experienced, I'm going to go off of what I now believe in.
Right.
And so that's why it's so important. The art of forgiveness is so important because, okay, you're telling me something from your personal experience from an experience that you telling me you had.
Right.
That may not even be an experience of something that's legitimate. You may be experiencing something that you went through some trauma with, and that's how you're handling things in life. I can't just say that I got to be angry at you because you had trauma, and then now that's the way you react to life.
Right.
In any situation. You see what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
I have to forgive you. I have to forgive you and say, in essence, that was your trauma. I can't say, man, you told me X, Y, and Z,
Right.
and I did X, Y, and Z, but it was really A, B, and C.
Hey, hold on.
As a result of that, go ahead.
Hold on 1 second. I had a couple comments, man. One of the comments was from Esther. She said, "Good morning to you, Esther. Thank you for tuning in." And she said that she is a firm believer in everything happening for a reason. Yeah, but see, that's what it is. At first I would say I am a believer in that, but because I've seen the evidence, I know that everything happens for a reason. You know what I'm saying? So I've been taught. I've been shown that for the past few years, and I'm gonna tell you where I usually see a lot of that at. A lot of that I see it happens at work. And when I see that everything happens for a reason, some things start happening. I'm like, that don't make sense. And it's like at the end, it will eventually make sense because nothing just happens for no reason. So yes, Esther, I definitely agree with that. I know of that. I don't just believe that, I know it because it's been proven so many times. Angela had another comment, and she said, Angela said, absolutely, unless my eyes see it, my ears my ears hear it. I'm in the presence of the moment. I have my knowledge of it. So I can't speak on it. Yeah. That's right. Until I get them facts. And I'm gonna take that term that you said, resonate. Because resonate is like, to me, resonate is like the resonation is a magnet. That's what brings me like, it's like, wait a minute, you're
on the frequency.
This is pulling me closer to what this is, and it urges me to go and find out as much facts about it as I can. So yes, Angela, I definitely agree. She got another one. She said recently, what she said?
No. That's the definition.
Okay. The definition. All right. Resonate. All right. Resonated. Resonating object, to continue to produce a loud, clear, deep sound for a long time. Okay. To have particular meaning of importance for someone. That's another one.
Definitely. That's what I mean by being on the same frequency as that in which that in which you feel
in a personal or emotional way, usually or with. Yeah, all of that. That resonates with me. Like, it resonates. And now when something resonates with me real deep, I gravitate towards it, and it urges me to learn what that is. I need to know a little bit more about it so that I can say that, hey, this is something, after I process it, this is something I'm either accept or reject.
Right. You're gonna believe it or not. Yeah. Can I share something with you on how I came to that hypothesis?
Already, man. How we do?
Okay. Now, this is an example of some of the things we talked about, we shared personally just within the past couple of days.
Yeah.
I read upon some of those same things that you shared with me, and my idea or my hypothesis from it was like exactly the same. And it wasn't from something I heard from somebody. It was something that resonated with me and that I researched and then I started to believe in. So it's kind of like you see things, people see things on the internet and they read things and then they say it exactly how the person who wrote it, or they say it exactly how the person who said it.
Mm-hmm.
But how I process things is I'll read something and I'll come up with my own hypothesis of it. And when I see things that are exactly the same as my hypothesis of something that I studied, that's where my experience comes from. Have to resonate with something first. Like you said, research it. And then you hear it somewhere else and it's confirmed, it's confirmation, and it's kind of like you don't even really have to battle with it. So when someone comes up and they say something that's totally different from what you believe, after you've resonated with it, after you researched it, after you learned it, you've grown in it, and then they say something different, it doesn't really have to be a thing of forgiveness. It's just something that you understand that they have not got on that frequency. And anything anybody wants to believe, learn, grow, be nurtured in, all they have to do is get on the frequency of it. It's already out. It's nothing new under the sun. It's already been done. So a lot of times those individuals who people say you have to forgive, right? They have not got on a certain frequency.
Mm-hmm.
And your job, the universe is saying, I got somebody I need you to take care of. Boom. Here you go. And they'll smack you in the face with the situation. And then that situation that you're smacked in the face with is not only somebody you need to take care of, but it's somewhere you need to grow within yourself. That's where the forgiveness starts within you. It's like, damn, man, I ain't been doing this, that, and the other. I just got smacked with this certain situation. And I have not been handling things the way they need to be handled because I just got handled in a way where I'm not comfortable or that does not resonate with me. You see what I'm saying? And so now, something that you've been doing, you now find out that does not resonate with the direction that your life is going because everything happens for a reason. And then, bam, you bad things up. And you are forgiving. You got to go to yourself and say, I forgive myself because now I've grown and I've learned in that space in which I was operating that was not productive for myself or for the individual that the universe has really put me, in the same path of. And that person may be gone. You may not even see him anymore.
Yeah.
You may not even communicate with him anymore.
That's important. Yep. That's another reason why that's important. Because like I said, I don't like having I don't like having bad blood with people. I don't like I don't like having lingering energy of I don't want to plant a seed or let the seed inside somebody to either jealousy or malice or whatever, because you don't know exactly what people are capable of. You don't know. So it's like I'd rather clear it up as quick as possible as I can. You know what I'm saying? And hey, even then, it might not, even then it might not change a whole lot, but it's gonna change something. But I don't want to have it on me. So
right. Let me tell you what all that means. All that means is those are areas of opportunity.
Yep.
That's what all that means. And so when you're in the process of not wanting to forgive, then you're shoving away opportunity. Basically, it's not, I don't call them problems. I don't call them all those things that you label them as. The reason why I'm able to identify with that in such a broad spectrum is because I call them opportunities.
Mm-hmm.
We've been taught and we've been programmed to use all of these different things so that who we really are, we get away from, right? And so then we start creating situations like having to think that you have to close your mind to being open to what somebody's experiencing and the opportunities that somebody have. Even when we have our personal conversations, we're talking about opportunity. We're sharing opportunity. Those opportunities may be something that we need to get on top of that we are not on right now to be able to grow and move forward. And if it's a relationship issue, somebody did you wrong, or somebody said something about you bad, or, you just want to connect with something, a situation that is not working for you right then and there. Those are our opportunities.
Uh-huh.
We got to reach into ourselves and gravitate to who we are in order for us to be able to even think about having to say, I'm sorry, or I forgive you, or, don't worry about it. Before we can even get into that, that's a whole different situation that has been created by what we've been programmed by.
Right.
Whereas when you're in touch with yourself and you hear on this frequency way up here, and then they're on a frequency way down there, in order for you to have to be forgiven, you got to reach down to their frequency and say, you did this and this and this, and you got to talk about it. You got to be on it in order for you to get out of your feelings. But if you stay where you are and you don't take it personally, you don't take it seriously, you just look at it for the opportunity for what it's worth. And they got to step up to where you are. And what that does is, like I said, nothing happens, everything happens for a reason. What that does is raises their vibration.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what you want to do as a person, a purpose, in a purpose. You want to raise the vibration of those around you. And you know what? You don't pick them. You let life pick them. And you take what life has gotten you, education-wise, focus-wise, resonation-wise, and you grow in it, and then you start to believe in it. Now, I went through this experience. Now I believe this. And that's where my concept comes from. I know you have a difference of opinion, but my concept comes from resonation first, and to knowing, and then to believing.
Yeah. No, I mean, resonate. Yeah, whenever it resonates, I agree with that first, because it has to first pique me. I have to like the definition where it said, it's a sound that keep on. It's something that's calling you. When something resonates, it's calling you, and whenever you. And it's like, wait, what is this? I feel like I need to go towards this. This is something that I think I need to go towards, and now I'm finna figure it out and see what it is. And once I get down in there and start researching about it, then I can,
It's just like music.
Hold on, she said
I made a couple
new song. Oh, okay. Reading this comment.
Resonate.
Oh, go ahead. Read
your she said, I need to write a song called Resonate.
Yeah. That's deep. I was just getting ready to say when we did the Elevate.
Yeah.
When I
Elevate is kind of like that too. Elevate is on some. It's like the hook said, roll me, let's elevate. You know what I'm saying? It's
right, because when I did the music, you did the lyrics on that, and I did the music on it, but when I did it, right, it was something that resonated with me in you, right? That I'm like, okay, I've already seen him get on, so now I'm a believer in what it is that I've been resonating with him on this style. And I didn't know what you were going to put down on it. All I knew is that the energy from it is what I got from you on how you did music. You see what I'm saying? And so that's specifically where that came from. And so that's a prime example of, we working together on stuff. You resonated with me. Okay, now I done the sun shield shine. Okay, now I believe. And so, that's the other track. And so as I'm starting to believe, I'm like, you know what? This is a connection. So let me do this track here, because I really feel like he's got the harmonies and the melodies on the frequencies that I'm on. And you got on it, and you didn't leave any crumbs. You just ate it up. You see what I'm saying? And so that's a prime example there in my belief system, and how, I think that's how you have to approach things. So when a person does something, when a person feels a certain type of way, when a person acts a certain way, I'm talking about energy-wise, if you don't connect with them and you're on high energy and they're on low energy, you can destroy and dominate a person without even touching them. You can just put out the right energy. And that energy is in forgiveness. That energy is growth. It is education. It is opportunity. It's war. It's spiritual warfare.
Yeah.
And you're dealing with it in such a way to where that's who we really are. We are individuals that don't have to say anything.
Mm-hmm.
It's our responses and it's our reaction to life that is all in that apology. That is all in that forgiveness. It is all in that growth, in that education. It's all competence in one thought. But we got to all be on that level. And you know what? We gotta share that with each other.
Yep. Hey, hold on 1 second, Johnny. Let me see. Hold on, man. Is my eyes playing tricks? Hey, there she goes.
What's up? It took me a minute to get it to work.
Yeah, I know it's all good, man. We got our host. I got my better half. I got my kinfolk with me again. Lyric. Y'all can't see her unless y'all go to y'all can't see her, but I know y'all can hear her.
Good
she-
morning, everybody.
Shout out to the great lyric. Shout out to my girl.
Thank you, thank you.
Tell her we miss her.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
I miss being there. I'm freezing to death out here.
Oh man, when you coming back? Yeah,
I'll be back Saturday.
Oh, okay, you enjoying yourself?
I am. I've had a great time out here.
Did you enjoy the Mike Epps concert?
Man, that concert was wicked.
Yeah. Okay.
Hey, clown.
Hey, clown. Huh? That's what's up, man.
Look like your head got.
Yeah.
tell her we already forgive her for not being here.
I was definitely you see how forgiveness works. Hey,
see, look at y'all. Look at this.
How it is, dog. You see how it? That's exactly why I say, hey, let's talk about that real quick, man. You know what I'm saying? Well, that's good, man. I'm glad you was able to get home and enjoy yourself, and then come in and go ahead and get in with the chat. But you
I'm out here in Illinois. It's cold.
Man, what's the temperature?
I think it was 33
in the daytime.
So the nights are colder.
Man, so you got 33, and the high over here is gonna be 73. How about that?
Okay, rub it in.
Man,
just rub it on in.
Because I would like to train. I would like to train it, a little bit, because I like the cold when it's supposed to be cold. I like my winter when it's supposed to be winter. I like, you know what I'm saying? And it's like, this ain't winter right now. Here it is.
Yeah, I had to pull out my big coat to come out here.
Man, so I don't know, man. I might have to move, and man, because this ain't getting it, man.
You're not going nowhere. You're gonna be right here with us.
I'm supposed to be in the middle of February, in the middle of winter, and it's feeling like spring. You know what I'm saying?
Man.
So
I like it. My pool is ready for me to get in it.
Weather, man.
What'd you say? What'd you say, Donnie?
This is our bipolar weather. I forgive you for hating on.
Man, it's not. It ain't even hating. It's just it went back. It went from what I'm used to. You know what I'm saying? I'm used to it being cold when it's supposed to be cold. I don't like that change. I'm not even gonna lie. But hey, it said that that's what's supposed to happen. So I expect it. Just because I expect it don't mean that I like it. I want my winter.
Well, I'm gonna be glad to get home, and don't you be jinxing me, Chosen.
Man, it's a great conversation, man. Forgiveness is one of my favorite conversations, man.
Right.
I love having that conversation because it's really not a conversation when you find out who you are, when you have knowledge and wisdom of yourself, because it's all about opportunity.
Right.
It's great opportunity. It's nothing personal, and life is not that. I would say life is not that personal.
Mm-hmm.
You see, when a lot of people make it personal,
saying like it's not really. It's really not because everything is not for you. Like it's not. Not a revolve. It don't really revolve around you. So when you say you take it personal, or it's not that personal, because you out here to be a light, true, but you out here to shine the light too in the other people's lives. So yeah,
we all light workers, man.
Yeah.
We all holding the light in the dark. You know what I'm saying? The dark. The reason how you know you are going to shine is that you are in a little darkness.
Mm-hmm.
You have to have darkness around you to see how bright your light is.
Yeah, I mean,
everybody's shining a light. Nobody's going to know where they need to sharpen up at or how bright their light is or any of that. You got to be in a little darkness in order for you to know where you shine at. Yeah. And that's where the opportunity comes from. That's where the forgiveness comes from. That's where okay, no problem, no worries. See, when it's also in the delivery as well.
Mm.
When you apologizing to somebody, right? Or I guess some people like to ask for an apology. Well, I'm not going to say anything to him. I was watching Monique on Shay Shay Club. They're going to have to apologize to me. What'd you say?
I said I'm gonna have to check that one out because I did see like
you gotta check it out. You gotta check it out. It's got a lot to do with what we talking about. Yeah. With her and Tyler Perry and Oprah Winfrey and other people.
Yeah.
She's looking for an apology, right?
Yeah.
But she don't really know how much she's grown in that opportunity with those individuals. rubbing the shoulders, being able to, not be in those groups, but being able to stay as an individual, being able to really shine her light on those individuals. So she's educated them. They're not going to tell her thanks for the education because of the position that they're in. They lost.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They're lost in that situation. But she's giving them education. Now, don't get me wrong. I feel like the opportunity, since it's still coming up, it's not coming up by accident. The opportunity is still there for all of them. But the growth is in all of them at the same time. You know me, everything happens at the same time. Past, present, and future is all simultaneously parallel. You know what I mean? So while you're walking, right, everything is happening or that has already happened, and it's all going on at the same time. And so if you study asking for an apology, right, the apology has already happened. You're just not on the frequency of it. People have apologized before, and people are going to continue to apologize. So that frequency is there. All you got to do is get on it. You know what I mean? And she has to first say, I'm sorry to myself. Because she talks about some other things that contradicted the position that she's in.
Mm-hmm.
And it didn't contradict it in a negative or positive way, because I don't go off of negative and positivity. I go off of facts and resonation.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so she already said, well, when I was this woman, I was, sleeping with this many men, and I thought I was this, and nobody could tell me nothing, and this and this. Well, nobody's really able to tell you anything right now while you're asking for an apology or when you're seeking an apology.
Yeah.
And so she's contradicting where she's at, and she's stunning her growth.
Yeah.
Like, turn that light on, sister.
Right. Hey,
turn it on.
Hey, Donnie, give me a second, man. Since I got Lyric here, man, I wanna give her a chance to go ahead and weigh in and give her thoughts about the topic today.
Okay. She can call. I me and you, we chop it up all the time, and I can open up the phone lines. I can be on the phone line all day, man. I just want to drop.
No, I've been enjoying listening to him.
No, I ain't saying you got to get off, because we kind of got it open.
Okay.
Now, I got.
Okay, that's the best.
I want to give her.
I'll hold on.
Yeah, I want to give her time.
Well, I'm not sure what the
aspect
of forgiveness we're on.
So what we talking about? So what I open? So the can. The box that I opened up today was is basically, we just called it the art. I just called it the art of forgiveness. Why is forgiveness important? Who is forgiveness really for? And how do you forgive, or how long do it take to forgive? Do you hold grudges? Okay.
Well, from my experience, and because of the things I've gone through in my life, when it comes to forgiveness is absolutely for self. When you forgive somebody, if they've done something to you or whatever the case may be, the forgiveness isn't for that person necessarily, because I forgave. I didn't forget, but the forgiveness was for me. That was the part of my life I had to forgive, because I needed that closure, because you can't grow if you're stagnated on something that's holding you down, and not forgiving will hold you down.
Mm-hmm.
And I just think that your life, not even what other people think, but your life, it gives it a chance to grow. It gives you a chance to grow when you can forgive.
Yeah.
Because as long as you're not forgiving, you're still in that same spot. And me, I'm 58 years old. I went through abuse for almost 10 years of my life, from the time I was 10 until I moved out of my mother's house.
Mm-hmm.
And on my father's deathbed, I told him I forgave him. And I didn't forgive him for me. I forgave him. I didn't forgive him for him. I forgave him for me.
Yeah.
And I had to do that. And it's ironic that you're talking about this, because yesterday I kind of had a meltdown, because most of my life, where I've started getting my life together, I had put all that behind me. I talked about my abuse, and I talk about it openly because I'm not ashamed of it, because I didn't do anything wrong. But yesterday, I don't know. Yesterday was one of them days I had a meltdown, and everything back then just came all at once.
Yeah.
And I just had to go back and tell myself, you did nothing wrong. So that was my forgiveness again. And sometimes you forgive and you have to go back and forgive again, because sometimes it'll fester in you sometimes, and you have to go in and kind of address that wound so that it doesn't destroy you. because I know abuse have destroyed some people. They've become drug addicts. They become abusers themselves, you know, and they're in a place where they can't crawl out of.
Yeah,
I'm blessed to have been able to crawl out of them. I thank God for that.
Yeah, it's definitely.
I've had a lot of support.
Mm-hmm. Yep. It's definitely a cancer, dog. Like you gotta have to do that because you know your forgiveness is your treatment. That's
Absolutely. It's the beginning of your treatment. Forgiveness is. You got to do that first before you can move on.
Yep. Cause like Donnie said, you know, you gotta go through the whole process. You gotta forgive yourself, and then you know forgive yourself, and then forgive others. As far as that, because it can't linger. You know what I'm saying?
And you know what? I want to put this out there for anybody that's listening that's been through abuse. You forgive yourself. You forgive the person that abused you, but you also have to. I used to tell myself I didn't need help. If I could forgive myself, and what I did is I learned that I said I forgave, but I didn't give a complete forgiveness for myself. And I ended up, you know, over the years before I actually got myself together, I did a lot of dumb things. You know, you meet guys and you become attached to these guys that are abusive, and it seems like it's a pattern. You know, promiscuity becomes a pattern. The people that you keep in your life becomes a pattern. And I just want people to know, if you're listening to me, one, it's not your fault, and you gotta let it go. You gotta forgive and let it go. You don't have to forget it, because I'll never forget it. It's in a file in my head. It's there. But I also know that I'm worth more than what I was given at that time.
Yeah.
You know.
I look at a lot of things like when we say that we don't forget. I think part of it when you have things that are embedded in your past, you don't look back at it to reflect as to like, oh, this is what was done to me. You look back at it so far you came, and then
you look back so you can see what your growth has been.
Yeah, what your growth is, how far you came, and how much you've grown, and you remember certain things because there are some people out there that you may be able to help. Now, if you can't go back and reach back into your chronicles as to what happened, then you can't. The effectiveness of the help to somebody else is a little. It's not going to be as big. That's not going to be some of a big effect, because if you can't really elaborate on what happened to somebody else, they're not going to catch it all the way. So it's good for you.
And I just want people to know that it's okay to get help. Because I know I even at 58, I need help. I realized that yesterday, because I was sitting with one of my girlfriends that I grew up with. We've been friends since we were children. And I mean, like elementary. And she was like, you remember this and you remember that? And I realized that a lot of my blockage of my memory as a child was because of that traumatic, situation that happened in my life. And I realized I can't remember things that I should be able to remember. And that's because right before all of my torment happened, I was a child. So my childhood was destroyed. I can't remember half of that.
Yeah. I been suppressed. Like
it's most definitely suppressed, because I can tell you, I know what happened, but I can't tell you what happened. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So the comment that I got on here now from Donnie, he said, that's why we should always stay open to forgive, so we don't get caught up in generational patterns. Okay, yeah, I can roll with that. Yeah. It'd be nothing but facts coming through these comments, man. So I appreciate all y'all that commented. That just let me know that we are on one accord when it comes to thinking of when it comes to most of the things that we talked about. You have to know if forgiveness is key. I ain't never really looked at myself as I've grown. I never really looked at myself as a vengeful person, but everybody has it in them. Be like, I hope you get what's coming to you, or whatever it is, But that's another reason why forgiveness is so important, because there's nothing that you can do. There, if you're smart, there's nothing that you can do to try to exact revenge on people. You have to but it takes time. It takes a certain level of consciousness to know that what's gonna happen to them they're gonna reap what they sow.
Exactly. I was going to say they'll reap what they're sow.
Yeah.
Because, you know, my father, after all of this, like I said, I had to go and help my mother with him. But when he was sick, that was his reaping. He reaped because he was in pain and he suffered. And he was supposed to suffer for everything that you not only did to me, but other people in your life. Because I wasn't the only one that was affected by this. I wasn't the only abused.
That's the thing. That's another thing too. Like, I don't know how I would say, I don't know how effective it is. Well, it's effective, but I don't know exactly if it's already been like, like if you wrong somebody, if you do something to somebody and you know that you did, and you go to that person to be like, hey, yo, I know blase didn't happen and I'm really sorry. You do still have to do, you do still have to, you know, pay that consequence, that karmic debt, but I don't think that it's as immense as if you just went through doing it and you not, and you know, you just being heartless. I think it's harder on people when they're heartless about it, they just keep on doing it and keep on doing it, not caring. But I think whenever you do care and you know, you make that mistake, I think what makes you go to actually apologize or seek that forgiveness is because you dealing with it and it's really whooping your behind.
Yeah, it eats you up.
Yeah, it start eating you up until you do that. But I think that I also think that whenever people don't do it, like they well, I mean, know that they feel like it's not eating them up, it comes back even heavier later on.
And you know what's crazy? It comes back years later. I'm 58 years old. I'm starting to have PTSD behind it. I've never had to experience that.
Yep.
You know?
I think that why, you know, if you do something to somebody, man, if you wrong somebody that like you might not want to waste time, not taking responsibility for things that you do. You know, go there, because I mean, going to church, I've heard pastors, you know, pastors I grew up with, they were like, you know, if you wrong somebody, well, of course it says that in the Bible too, you know, if you wrong somebody, you need to go ahead and patch it up with them. You know, that's the right thing to do. You feel better. I know I do. And that's probably why it's easier for me to forgive. And, you know, it's easier for me to forgive because after I've got that out the way, you know, it's like losing some pounds, you know what I'm saying? It's like getting it out your system and you ain't got to worry about it.
How are you going to turn in the other cheek though? I can't do that one.
You said what?
How are you going to turn in the other cheek? When somebody slaps you going to turn the other cheek?
Man, look, okay, so check this out.
I'm gonna forget you after I slap you back.
So check it out. When I you know, once again, I'm gonna take it to church. The story of Joseph. The story of Joseph and the story of Job. Well, I'll just use Joseph. That man went through so much, and you know, he went through so much with his own brothers sold him into slavery. And while he was even in there, it was the wife of his master tried to come on to him or whatever, and he turned her down, and she told her husband, hey, he tried to rape me. But because of what he exuded, the master, of course, had to send, he had to take out he had to, like, you know, put the consequence on him. So when he sent him off to the prison, the people knew he was in, you know, his character was, you know, his character and his integrity was so high.
Yeah, he had a purpose from birth. I think it also mentions what his purpose was, and that's what he was going to do.
And so, but at the end of it, what I'm saying is, at the end of it, it's like, man, you know, this dude, he done got slapped. That's the first thing, that he got slapped so many times, but at the end, when he endured it, he was blessed so much that what happened to him didn't even matter no more. And the only reason why I say this is because I went, you know, I kind of went through something similar to that, as far as like in the, you know, in my you know, my past relationship, past marriage, whichever you want to call it. After everything was said and done, and everything that was taken, or, you know, everything that had exploded, everything that came up after that, it put me in such a high it put me on such outlook of life that was so much better than it was. Like I wasn't even mad no more. And the reason why is, you know, when they say, you know, turn the other cheek, yeah, I got smacked, but like I've always known from a young age, is like, yeah, I might want to do something, but I'm gonna make it worse if I do it. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I'll make it worse if I do to them what they did to me. And it was hard, but I knew what was on the other side. So to me, it's easier for me to be like, yeah, you know, turn the other cheek, because I know that they're gonna reap what they sow.
Okay.
Yeah, that's your
And
education.
if I do it like Rick, and I'm not talking about Johnny, you know, I'm not talking about the recent one. I'm talking about the one before that.
Okay.
The first one before, and that right there was like, after I got to that dog, I didn't harbor no hate, no hatred, no nothing for that person and that other person. It was, I had so much more of the, when I had it, it was like I wasn't even mad at it no more. Yeah, and I survived it. So the more and more you go through adversity, and you know, as black folks, dog, you know, we quick to hit the I wish I would, and I wish I would, and that couldn't be me, because if it was me, I'd be this. You kind of have to, you know, we quick to say that, but you kind of gotta go past it. Like you can't do that, because think about it. All the people that we know that sit up there and try to exact their own justice or exact their own revenge, they wind up getting messed up, and they was the victim.
Yeah, a lot of that is mental too. Well, would you say a lot of things that you believe in? I'm talking about things that you experienced with the first relationship, you were able to understand in the second relationship. I mean, they resonated with you, and you said, "Nah, you know what? This is what I believe. So I don't care about what's going on here. I experienced this, so I believe in this. So this is what I'm gonna stand on." Did you find yourself with what you learned in the first relationship implementing in the second one?
Yeah.
Would you say that?
Like what it is, because you know, you go through stuff, and you go through stuff, you start seeing signals, and then it's like the PTSD. Like when you start seeing signs that resemble things that started your trauma, then you're like, all right, you know what, this looks too familiar. I'm not even finna deal with it. You know, it was like that. But I use that for an example. This is like when she said, you know, turn the other cheek. Now, don't get me wrong. Yes, we do physical, and you got to get somebody off of you. Yeah, you got to get them off of you. You know what I'm saying? But as far as like trying to go back and do, you know, try to enact revenge, and like it's, you learn when you get to a certain level of consciousness, you learn that it's not even worth it. It's like, you know what, you got it. I'm not even finna fool with you like that. You know, you got it. It's better. It's easier for me to walk away. I just turn the other cheek, because you're gonna get yours anyway, and it's less work for me, and I ain't got to deal with it no
more. Right. And you know, my reasoning for asking that is, you know, and also is, you know, to share with the listeners as well, that, you know, once you learn something and you grow in that space, that's why it's so important. You can come up with all type of emotions and feelings and responses, which we, on a personal level, you shared a lot of that with me when we spoke.
Yeah.
About how you felt, you know, it's okay to feel those things, but our reaction and responses to that is where, you know, we fall short of being on the frequency that we want to be on, that we need to be on in order for us to move forward in our lives. And I saw that frequency. I already knew what you were on, and I knew that you were having to come down and lower your frequency in order to be able to get into that situation and where you was dealing with it at. So my job as a person's universe called to interact with your situation, because, you know, we got into those conversations not by accident.
Right.
My job was to raise your vibration back.
That's what everybody's job, you know. That's what
where that's the purpose. That's purpose. That's purpose. You know,
it was something I was going to say, man. I think my train of thought left the station because it was something you said. It was something you said, man. Maybe it prompted me to say this one thing. It'll hit me, but we can continue.
Because that was your educational process. I saw a lot of education. I saw a lot of growth.
I saw a lot of development. You know what I mean? And you know, I was personally able to witness a lot of what was going on with you as well in your life. You know, with the kids, with your relationship, with your growth in your music. So I'm taking data, you know, because that's one of the things as human beings, as Homo sapiens, that we're doing. You know, we're collecting data. You know, and I was able to collect data, and it helped me with collecting data on your situation because I was very attentive to it. Because you like my brother.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so, you know, my soul brother. You know what I mean? And where we're connected soul wise. You know, and then you know we got.
I'm gonna call you right back. I'm on air.
But
I'm in Indiana right now. I'm in heaven. I'm Gary. But I'm gonna call you.
Things with people you're close to that you see that they share with you and what resonates with you with them. And so by me collecting that data and that information, right, I'm like, man, I met this man on this frequency right here. Now he's on this frequency. So man, let me just put myself out there, put good energy out there, good vibrations out there so that I can get him back to that frequency, whether it's through the musical connection that we have or if it's through the beliefs and what we believe, you know, spiritually, how we get here, what we're supposed to be doing.
Right.
And it just came out organically, man. It came out naturally, man. Just for you to forgive yourself for having to go down to the level that you had to go down to get into your feelings of who it is that you were being, which wasn't really you. And that's an issue with us all, why we have to get into those situations where we got to go back and forth and say, I forgive you, I love you, I this, I that. Which is a great thing to express, but that is like kind of like robbing yourself, only doing it on a holiday or a birthday. That's got to be something that daily when you get up, man, the gratitude, the love. I'm talking about for self.
So you know what?
Knowledge, gratitude, and love.
Yeah, let me say this before I forget. Like another thing that I wanted to say too, like as far as the art of forgiveness, forgiveness is cleansing. Mm-hmm. And you need the cleanse so that you can have those higher vibrations and be on that higher frequency. You know what I mean? Like you can't hear everything with dirty ears, right? And you can't see nothing with coal in your eye. So if that's true aspect. So if that's on a physical aspect, what you think on the spiritual and the metaphysical aspect is, you know, you got to cleanse all that negativity and all that the lower frequent. The lower frequency, the things that are on the lower vibrational frequency, the emotions. You remember you sent me this chart. Remember the chart you had sent me talking about all the that's on the different
the higher vibrations,
the high vibration, the low vibration, like emotions that are high vibration, emotions that are low vibration. So when you know that, you know what I'm saying, when you start coming into the knowledge of knowing what those things do, high vibration emotions attract the high vibrational entities. Lower would do the same as for attracting, you know, low vibrational entities, and it dirties you up. So you have to cleanse. So I think that forgiveness, I ain't gonna say think, but I know that for a fact that forgiveness is also cleansing, and that's another reason why it's important.
One of the things that people don't identify with that is that a lot of times forgiveness is not about what you say, it's about what you do, the action.
Yeah.
You know, because we can say these things about we forgive and then we still acting out these feelings of, you know, harboring them. And then it's really a forgiveness for ourselves, you know, not for the person.
Yeah.
You know, it's for ourselves. And when you give information to the person, when you give that information to them and show them, you know, not tell them, but show them that that's what it is that you're doing, right? That's the energy that you put them on, right? And in order for them to get that feeling, because they get that feeling of that energy and that vibration, it's like a high. It's like a fix. So once they get on it, they're gonna want it some more.
Yeah, because especially when people see how your light, how bright your light is starting to shine, and when people see that you got to a certain level, people, you know, they'll gravitate towards that. Most people want to know how did you get to that level and what it took. So it's just like Al Sharpton be saying, he said, a better me makes a better you, and a better you make a better we. So once again, giving credit back to what you said. Well, I guess to elaborate on what you said was we're here to raise the the vibrations of people, and without
Right.
possible. So what else you got to say about that lyric?
I'm just like,
Be the spiritual
I guess,
parts of the modern time.
Yeah.
You know, when the people get stuck in a tunnel or they get buried in a dark tunnel, they always want to try to go see where the light is at in order for them to get out.
True
no
that.
matter what zone they in or what frequency they on, they're gonna want to come to the light.
Right. Hey,
And then
hold on.
once they come, oh, go ahead.
Hey, hold on. What was you saying, lyric?
no. I was just saying, I was
Talking
listening
about me?
to him
You talking
too,
to me?
but I guess as far as the forgiveness thing, my just endpoint on that was you have to forgive. If you don't forgive, you're gonna be stuck in that place where you don't want to be.
Yeah.
People think that if you forgive somebody, you let them get a pass, and that's not what you're doing. You're giving yourself a pass because they're still gonna reap what they sow at the end of the day.
Yeah.
I believe that.
And that's why
even if they ask for forgiveness, you still have to be accountable for what you did.
Yeah, that's why I'll be like, that's why it's easy for me to turn the other cheek. Yeah, okay, yeah, it'll be a little red. It might, you might even scratch.
I'm not turning the other cheek on that note.
I turn the other cheek, I'll be like, hey, but you still gonna get what you're gonna get. I'm not gonna let you.
You slap me, I'm slapping you eye for eye.
Nah. Yeah, but we prone to do that, man. That's the first reaction. Every reaction has a reaction. That's the first thing you think. I'm not just talking about a physical
right.
slap, whatever, but just because you say something to me don't mean I'm finna say something. You can say something to me all you want, because all you doing is barking, and I'm just gonna let you say whatever you want to say.
I don't mind talking. You can talk all day long.
Yeah, you talk all day long. I'm not finna sit up.
Put your hands on me.
Yeah, hey, yeah. That's
I've been through that. I had a situation where my so-called friend assaulted me, and at that point I didn't try to fight. Well, I fought back, but I didn't try to fight back like that, because at that point I'm still in my head. This is my friend, like my sister.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, for me, I was like, it wasn't even as serious. Everything got escalated, which was ridiculous. The fight was so stupid. And you reap what you sow.
Mm-hmm.
She's reaping, he's reaping, they're reaping.
Do you still talk to that person today?
Huh?
I said, do you still interact with that person today?
Absolutely not.
Okay.
I said forgive. I didn't say be stupid.
That don't necessarily. I've known people that had drag out fights.
You know what? When a person shows you their true color, believe it. Please believe it.
Yeah. I don't disagree with that. But like I said, I know people that still talking, man, you remember that time that me and this dude had a drag out fight over this and that. But at the end of the day, you know what I'm saying? We was able to come back together and batten the hatch and stuff like that. So it's like, I've seen many cases in there. So it's like, that's another reason why I'm like, now, Angela said before you came on, Angela was like, yeah, whenever it becomes a part to where you become a cancer, and then I gotta let you go. It ain't because I hate you, it's because you're not doing me no good. I have a cousin which I grew up with, one of my favorite cousins, my best friend is like my brother. But it's to the point now to where it's like, I didn't cash you out. It's you've done things where I just cannot afford to have you around.
My thing is I don't have any hate. And I don't even have any ill will for you. I just don't fool with you no more. Yeah, I'm in a place where my circle is so positive, I can't have any negativity in it. I'm at a place where I'm growing, and if I'm growing and I got these monkeys on my back, they're gonna pull me back in. I'm not carrying them fools with me. They gotta stay right where they at. You can't come with me.
Yeah.
Been there, done that. I just feel like if you've extended love to somebody and they return it with hate, I'm not gonna award that and let you still be in my world.
Right. Exactly. Because you see what it is like. Oh, it's just bringing me down. I can't allow that in. I can't allow it in for you to destroy to disturb my peace. I can't allow that.
Yeah,
I get it.
I got love for everybody. I'm that person. I get along with everybody. I'm a people person, but I'm also no fool. My mother didn't raise no fool.
Right.
And when that incident happened, people were coming at me like I was some kind of punk. I was like, I'm not a punk. I said, I just didn't want to hurt her because I actually had loved her even at that moment. Yeah. But after I had to look back and reflect, I'm like, that's not love. She didn't care about me. That wasn't my friend. So at the end of the day, you did what you did. Hey, it is what it is. Yeah, but I bet you'll never do it again.
Yeah, you did what you did. It went how it went, and now it is what it is.
Yep.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Now back, Donnie, if you still with me, I know you were in the middle of saying something.
Yeah. You know, my thing also, I want to say to the listeners that we should put the forgiveness process on autopilot, but we should not forget the opportunities that got us there. So what I mean by that is, you know, you never put yourself back into a space with anyone, not just the entity or individual that, you know, you had to go through that those feelings with, you know, and you had to grow and learn from it. But anybody, you have just at that time, you've just been educated on a certain situation. So when it pops back up again, you don't even really have to engage. You know, your energy and all of that can be reserved, and you don't have to engage in that repeated process. That's why I asked you about relationship-wise, like, just to share with the listeners, you know, not to get into your business, but to say, okay, you experienced this during this breakup. Now you're in this situation and you're experiencing some of those same things. And so you're seeing those things and you're saying, you know what, I've already experienced that. I'm not going to even engage in that. I'm going to stay on a high vibration, high frequency, and I'm not going to step low. Why should you go back through the process again? That reincarnation of that situation. That's why reincarnation comes in.
Absolutely.
People don't understand how important it is for you not to be reincarnated in your individual thoughts, disease-wise, generational curse-wise. You shouldn't be reincarnated in the physical, because all that's going to happen is that it's going to just go to the spiritual. And it's important for you to reserve yourself to say, I forgive myself for putting myself in this space. And you have to always have love for yourself. That's where it all starts. It starts with the love and the gratitude of self.
Yeah.
For every little small thing. You know, you get up in the morning, man, I'm thankful I still got 2 feet below me.
Mm-hmm.
You got to pick those things, so that when you do that on a daily process, you practicing that. So when things pop up, it's on autopilot. You know, or the person may have said a word to you that triggered you. And those words, that's why I gave you that list of, words, because you can identify them and say, that's a lower vibrational word, or that's a high vibrational word. And then your frequency starts to climb. And then when you notice those other words and you get into those feelings, like, those are not real words, not where we come from, not by the all. Those are man-created words, the depressions and the bipolars, and those are man-created words. Energy is energy. Whether it's a high vibrational energy or a lower vibrational energy, all the stuff that's in between that old matrix talk is just talk. It's not real. And so we got to get into our real self. And we cannot. Forgiveness is on the autopilot, because we are all in an educational process right now.
Yep.
And that education includes, you know, darkness and light. And again, I love the darkness. I love it because I can see how my light is shining. And if it needs to shine a little bit more brighter, and I need to go a little bit more deeper, then I'm going to open up if I'm going to forgive. And I'm going to say, boom, you know what? Got me one. I mean, I call them victims, but in a positive way, in a positive light. I got to find me a victim in order for me to grow, in order for that person to be reciprocated on the growth.
Absolutely.
Because I know that life comes at me. I don't come at it.
Yeah.
It ain't going to go the way I want it to go. I'm going to wake up and I'm going to say, you know what I want to do? I want to go make this $1 million today. Nah, that's not how it works. If I have a mindset and a mentality where I've, you know, put that energy in the air and I've manifested that energy, that's the only thing I can do. And as I take my steps and I put myself out in the world, I'm going to have things that's going to come at me that's going to say, oh, you want this $1 million? Now you got to deal with this individual in your face telling you, you know, stuff that you can't do.
All right, hold on.
And I think on that note, you have to be able to speak things into existence.
Hey, hold on. Yeah, hold on real quick. We got a comment, and it's Dan D. Lewis said, God forgives, I don't. I'm if you joking, then if it's funny, then okay, I get the joke. But if you're not joking on the fact that you said God forgives, I don't, I'm like, you have to kind of
call in.
mean, you can call. I mean, you can call in on that, but I'm very indifferent. The number to call in is 832-560 832-560-2885 if you want to call in.
Please hold. Who's on the line again?
Yeah. Hold on.
All right. Morning Table Talk with Lyric and Chosen. Let's speak about it. What's up? Who am I speaking with?
What's up, man? Girl, manifest the elevation, loving optimistically, aka Milo, the generation hero, live from Chicago, Illinois. Man, I'm one of the hottest international artists in the world. I'm calling in to tell y'all the last time I forgave somebody. Man, I also forgive myself. That's one thing, man, because we make mistakes every day. Gotta forgive your lover, man. If y'all in a partnership and a marriage, make sure you forgive, man. That's the foundation, because Jesus forgave us. That's why he died on the cross, man. And hey, forgive your boss, forgive your coworkers, forgive your brothers and sisters, man. Forgiveness rules the world.
Yep. Is that all you wanted to say?
Man, that's all I want to say. Hey,
Okay.
go download the stream. My album, Elevation and EP on all streaming platforms. Milo, MELO, the generation hero, baby.
All right, appreciate you for your call. I definitely do agree. I was gonna say something about that when we were talking about the whole forgiveness thing. So, man, you gotta think, if we look at forgiveness, if some of us look at forgiveness as a hard task, you gotta understand, man, there's millions of people on this planet, and we came from a source, and we would believe that we were forgiven 777 times a day, and we still got grace. So if we can't forgive, if the all can forgive and forget, then why can't humans? So I appreciate your call, and yeah, you elaborated on that. What'd you say? What you got, Mal?
Milo, are you still there?
You still there?
Yep. Thank you. Had for that opportunity to speak about God's grace, man. I love y'all. Peace.
All right.
She speeding. I was trying to get her to send the music in.
Oh
Yeah.
I was gonna say something to that extent too. It's like, man, you gotta watch what you're saying as far as it, but it's like we want to go back to the very source that created us, but we are taught that the forgiveness that we are so reluctant to give. That source forgives and forgets, so we are taught. So I guess that's another reason. Well, by me being, brought up in, me being brought up in the background in the church that I was brought up in, I like understood that, or I had a better understanding, and it helped me, with the forgiveness, as far as that. So I guess back to Dan D. Lewis, say God forgives and God forgives, I don't. That leads me to, let me see what it says. It says evil is good. Evil is good. Evil is necessary. And if you get some evil, okay, yeah, I'm not gonna say that word, but yeah, I get you. I see what he said. Brother Brown. Well, hold on, was it Crenshaw Avenue? I forgot where that came from. Evil is. All right. I got him. God forgive. I get him. Yeah. On the side note, that's a funny comment, but like it's for people that really think, be like, God forgives, I don't. It's like I would say take a look at your life and see what darkness, how much imbalanced darkness you have versus the good. Because I know for me, the people that I've forgiven has done me what it is. I've been able to open my hands and let stuff go, so new stuff can come in. That's it. That's it right there.
Well, that kind of goes to my next.
That's right. It was Vampire in Brooklyn. That's what it was from. Okay, go ahead, Rick.
That goes to my next point. Also, to piggyback off of what you're saying, that allows us to technologically advance. Because it's all about science and mathematics when you talk about spirituality,
which is very,
you know what I'm saying? And in order for us, it's very important, because that's the difference between life and death. You know what I mean? Because on the physical side, we already died. And that process, scientifically, that process is, has been altered and things of that nature. We can get into that on a whole nother subject. But for us to technologically advance, we have to be able to move forward. And in order for us to move forward, we can talk about slavery, We could talk about, tinkering with our human body. We could talk about all of those different things, but we have to move forward from that. And in order for us to move forward from that, we have to see it and we don't see it, just like the creator. They see it and they don't see it. It's data. It's all data. It's nothing to put your life on hold with, because that's what has happened in a lot of generations. Our race, particularly as Black people, you don't get along with your mother, or your cousins don't talk to each other anymore, or your family don't get together like they used to. It's all about the forgiveness thing. Like, what happened? Okay, then when you break down what happened, why didn't you advance further than what happened? Why are you stuck? And that's, a lot of that is by design. It's by design, in order for individuals to not educate themselves about themselves, or not go deeper and to find out who they really are and who they really and truly are. They just to stay within the normal programming. You look at this, you respond to this, and you just go through this loop. It's a loop. It's a loop. And we have to get outside of that loop in a spiritual perspective and say, yeah, I see what happened. I take that information in. I grow from it. I learn. I'm a little further. I can get this. I can do that. And it has gotten me to the point where I put everything on autopilot so my manifestations can come through, that I manifest. Because I'm like Cat Williams. If I look at something, I can't look at it for too long if I don't want it, because I'm going to get it.
Yeah, you are. Yeah.
And if anything is going on that's not on my to-do list, which is my affirmations for the day, they got to get put on hold.
Well,
it may go from...
Yeah, well, that's why I said, the whole thing about the cleansing. Like, if you holding on to something, that means your hands is closed. So how can you receive anything with closed hands? And then, for you to open up your hands and let some stuff go, you got to open your hands up. You can still open your hands up, your hands be full, but you got to you got to wash your hands, because you can't, what I'm saying? Ain't nobody finna give, you don't want to. I'm not finna give you no food if your hands is dirty. If I know you ain't got no plate, so we ain't got no plates and no forks, and I gotta give you this piece of chicken. If I give you this piece of chicken to eat and you ain't got no napkin, your hands is dirty, that chicken ain't gonna do you no good, because you finna just take in some more mess on top of what was supposed to nourish you. So you gotta clean your hands, you gotta open your stuff up and let all the negativity and everything go, which means that why we said forgiveness is also a cleansing. So once you cleansed and you're able to receive your, you able to nourish your peace, your spirit, and everything, which will set you to a higher vibration. Just like when I was telling y'all earlier about the whole Joseph thing. And if Joseph had held on to his brother selling him into slavery, his master's wife accusing him of rape and all of that, if he had held on to that, he wouldn't have been able to get that cloak with all them colors and have more than he had before. At the end of that whole story was reason why I really like that story. At the end of that story, he was blessed with so much because of his forgiveness, he was blessed with so much that even the brothers that sold him into slavery, he offered to them too. So it was like, man, you just forgot, like, everything I went through everything I got was way more than what I went through, and I'm full of so much joy that I got enough for everybody. So you have to put your hands up and let that stuff go, dude. And because if you don't, how you gonna get nourished?
And I'll piggyback off of that and say that is a part of the art of forgiveness. Forgiveness has an art to it as well, and I want to mention that too, so that people can get an understanding of. The art of forgiveness is just those steps. They're simple steps. One of the steps of the art of forgiveness is for you to have a list of high vibrational things, lower vibrational things. And as you look on that list, you see, and it's coming straight off of your feelings about what's happening. Because we have our opinion. Sometimes you can even talk to yourself about it because that's your biggest audience. But when you respond to the actual situation, you have to be armed. You have to be armed with experience. And if you don't have the experience or education, you got to go get it. You can't just respond to things and take them seriously, from a physical perspective. It's all about the spiritual, where you are spiritually. And that can change depending on if you don't use that art in a great way. So you have to educate yourself and have those words available so you can identify them through your feelings, so that when you get ready to address the situation, you can know, am I exerting too much energy? Am I shining my light too bright? Is it not called for me to shine my light right here? Or, you gauge the situation. That's the most important part. Also knowing what's important is another entity to the art of forgiveness. Understanding and knowing what's important and what's not important. What do you need to address? What do you need to say and what you don't need to say? And then the last part is the educational process. I just learned something from this person saying this and me feeling this way. Now I got to go into myself and say, why am I feeling this way about something that somebody else is doing? Because the main thing about knowledge and wisdom of self when it comes to the art of forgiveness is that you don't have to follow a standard that everybody else follows. That is, we get into this thing about this is what everybody do, so this is what we got to do in order for us to get this result out of it, and that's not how it works. You're unique for a purpose.
I ain't never I said I ain't never agree with that.
Why is that?
Yeah,
you talking about? Okay. You talking about like we got to do it. We got to go to this psychiatrist because
I ain't never because everybody's on their own. Now, like when you saying like the let me just to cut in for a second. If you saying like the art of forgiveness, like I say that
right.
The way that I wield forgiveness is this. It's two ways. If you have wronged me, and you come to me without me having to come to you or whatever, and we sincerely chop it up, it's cool. I made a post on my Facebook page the other day saying, man, you will always get the good ending by choosing to tell me the truth. So like if you can come to me with sincerity and know that you did something all jacked up to me or whatnot, and it's in sincerity, your integrity is intact, and it's in the sincere apology, we can move forward. Now, I'm not saying that the good ending means, we finna go back to the way everything used to be. Well, it won't be the same. Doesn't mean that it got to be worse, or doesn't mean that it can be better. You just put yourself in a position in my life where you once held this spot, but because of what you did, you either got demoted or you just somebody else is in that spot, or you removed yourself from my life or moved yourself from this position to where, hey, I don't have no room for this, or this is how I got to deal with you. Or if you come at me and you don't give me that truth, even if you don't give me that truth and you want to be big-headed about it and be prideful or whatever, you gonna get the bad ending because it wasn't the truth. And the bad ending is just like, all right, I'm just leaving this where it's at. You'll get that. The reason why I'm saying you'll get that forgiveness is I forgive you for being who you are, as fair, and I'm forgiving myself for letting this happen or whatnot. And that's like on two fronts. Either way, it's gonna be forgiven. It's going to be it's going to be forgiveness. That forgiveness is more for me. If you do some jacked up stuff and you still don't want to own up to what you did, but that's going to be for me. And, we just going to operate the way we need to operate, probably not by speaking or anything. And I'm just going to probably forget because out of sight, out of mind. So
let me share this with the listeners. And this is something I believe because I've experienced it. Vibrations and frequency are the real currency.
That's the real currency.
And you have to deposit that, and that, once you deposit it and it grows, if you don't deposit nothing's going to grow. So you don't even have to go to that level. I don't believe, and that's just my experience. It's not your experience, but when they don't deposit frequency and vibration into your bank of relationships, into the bank of your relations with them, they don't even must get a response from you for whatever it is that you feeling like they did you wrong, or they, because those are man-made situations, doing me wrong and right and wrong and this and that and up and down and all. Those are man-made conversations. Those are not spiritual conversations from the all. So if they don't deposit frequency and vibration into the relationship bank, then they're not going to get any return or any interest. You're not going to have any interest in them. or they're not gonna. Their interest in you is going to be negative, in the negative. So you stay where you are frequency-wise on your beliefs. I'm talking about things that you have already experienced. You can't really do anything that you haven't experienced yet. You can resonate with it and you can work on it and educate yourself on it. But if you haven't been in that space, you don't even really have to, because a lot of people, they respond and react to spaces that they have not been in. And that's what causes the conflict. And that's what say, you need to do me right. You need to check them on these things. They want people to do them right because they don't feel like they have a different feeling about how they just got done because they never experienced that yet. And then a lot of times people have experienced it before and they're still lingering on it generationally. If they don't make the deposit to real currency, which is frequency and vibration, then they're not even gonna, you up here, they down there. So how are you gonna talk to them and go back and forth with them? They down there. Now I like the part when you say you don't have to have conversations with them. If they want to conversate with you, they gotta come up here where you are. Because
okay. Everybody was once on that lower level, but depending on your level of consciousness, which I recently don't use the word mature anymore. Like it's more conscious. Like when you become a certain level or higher level of consciousness, when you get to a higher level of consciousness, you learn that no response is the best response. You learn that that's more effective. Then also you start learning too that what you put into something you get back. So if you know you want to give back more positivity, more positive is like what you said. The reason why I'm saying that is because you said the thing about the bank. And you said the thing about the bank. If you put something into the bank, you want to make sure you put a nice size deposit in there so that it can gain that interest. And if you take away from it, you can't expect to give. You can't expect to give. I mean, to get what you're taking away from. So I say this. Anytime I want to put in my 2 cents, I want to try to make sure that it's balanced. But a little bit to tip the scale, I want to put a little bit more positivity than the negative, because light and dark, they both exist on the same pole. You have to have you have to have both of them. Light and dark talk to each other. You don't have no use for a flashlight in the daytime.
Right.
So it's like, you have to deposit, you're going to deposit something. And what you were saying, to expound on this right here, this is the point I was trying to get to, was we once were on, we were once at a low level of the consciousness tonight.
In the negative.
Yeah, in the negative, to when we finally got up there, to a higher level of consciousness, we were like, I know what and how to respond. Back then, you ain't know how. At a low level of consciousness, you respond with the "I wish you would," or "I'm gonna do this. You do this to me, then this is gonna happen." It's because you just thinking out of that whole emotion, and the first emotion that you're supposed to get off of something negative is a negative emotion. But once you learn to be more conscious, you try to find something positive to react positively to something negative, and that's the key.
Yeah, that's our account. See, account is okay. It could be like a bank account, but the acronym for account is your account for yourself, right?
Yeah.
And so the account was in the negative, and in order for you to come up out of the negative in the account, you gotta contribute positive to it in order for it to grow, get past where it's supposed to be, and then you be interested, or you have interest in positivity or light.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? And so that's the way that the balance comes out. You gotta, in order for you to know how much you got in the bank, you gotta be able to experience some darkness. And then you go, you know what? Let me see what I got. You know what I'm saying? What type of energy do I have? What type of light do I have? How much? And it's a lot of times we blow our light, just like people blow their cash on fast stuff.
Yeah, because at one point in time, in the beginning, your bank account is empty. At one point in time, your bank account is empty. The same way in the beginning, there was darkness. So that was what was first. Emptiness and darkness was first.
Right.
So when you get into the point where you talk about putting, depositing and everything, yeah, you want to deposit so you can enrich, which is another reason why forgiveness is important, because you need to cleanse.
Yeah, that's a part of the art of it. That's a part of the art. See, when I say that, and I say this for a reason, I know a lot of people tripping on these metaphors and symbols.
They probably want to tell us that we probably give them.
Yeah. I want to drop that jewel on them. You know what I mean? I definitely want to drop that jewel on them. I say that for a specific reason, so a person can look at that example and say, I'm not going to exert no energy that I don't need to exert on trying to figure out who needs to say what to me because of how I'm feeling.
Yeah.
You deal with life and you respond to life the way that you are served, and you do that. It's important. And there's a chemistry. There's a certain formula, just like a math formula that you go through. And a lot of times when you're going through the situation, sometimes you gotta be quick on your feet. You gotta say, okay, I'm in a situation where there's a formula for me to deal with this. And people may think, oh man, you ain't gonna be able to think like that. You gotta get into yourself. Spending that time with yourself, finding out who you are, finding out what it is how you function in life is the most important thing that you can ever do. It's the difference between life and death. Not physical life and death, but then it could be that as well, but it's spiritual.
Yeah, well, I mean, that would result into that, because if you have a spiritual death, then the body gonna die too. So,
right, if you're not at a certain frequency, and it's been scientifically proven, if you're walking around at a certain frequency and it's not higher than what it's supposed to be, then you're walking dead.
Yeah,
you see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And so that's why it's so important. The physical stuff is, that's going on with how a person is feeling and how they acting and all that. It's not important. It's not serious. As far as how you getting off into things, how you looking into things, how you responding to things, on a physical sense. It's spiritual response. It's the spiritual mind. It's the spiritual actions that is real. You know what I mean? It's being in the process, it's being in the present moment. And stuff's gonna come to you when you are by yourself. And you say, I'm processing this situation about what happened to me and my friend, me and my spouse, me and the stranger. You processing it, and it's part of growth.
Mm-hmm.
And you once you do it on a regular basis, it becomes a regular flow. And then you start looking for victims of, okay, I'm gonna get my education from this situation.
All right.
I'm not say nothing, but I'm just gonna observe.
All right.
And then I'm gonna process information. And then I'm gonna gain this, and then I'm gonna give out high energy. So in order for that person to interact with me, they got to be on a higher energy level.
Yeah.
If they're not on a higher energy level, we're not gonna talk. We're not gonna even have anything to talk about or get into.
That's right. Hey, brother. I appreciate the conversation. Me and you, we could talk all day, but this is coming to the conclusion of another episode, segment, or whatever you want to call it, or morning table talk. We had our host Lyric for a while, for a minute. I had two hosts. We had actually four hosts today. Angela called in, nice conversation. Donnie Wilson, always another a great conversation with him when he calls. But it's about that time to go ahead and then conclude another segment. Join us again Monday. We'll be back Monday. For another morning table talk with Lyric and Shows. I hope y'all have a wonderful day. Thank y'all for tuning in. Love and support. Hey, peace.
Shout out to Malcolm, man.
All right.
Hey, appreciate
Shout out to the great Mac.
Appreciate you, man. Appreciate you. Thank you for calling in and making the show that much better. Thank you.
All right, y'all have a good one.
Right.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you. Thank you, Miss Della Newman. Della Newman is tuned in all the way from North Carolina, I believe, and she's sharing and commenting every day. I thank you. Thank you for your support, Miss Della Newman. Thank you. Dan D. Lewis. I think that's Dan D. the Hitmaker, I believe.
Is it Dan D. the Hitmaker?
I believe so. I believe that's his real name. Thank you for tuning in, Dan D. Donnie Wilson has been on the call all day. Thank you so much. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in today to another edition of Table Talk Morning Show on Real Talk 100 Radio. We want y'all to tune in every Monday and every Thursday morning from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Tune in by going to our YouTube or our Facebook page and clicking play. We're also going live on our Instagram and our Twitter account. As Chosen gets out of here, we'll see you next time, baby boy. Thank y'all for tuning in. Please share the video all over the world. We want everybody to know about the Table Talk Morning Show. Hopefully, Lyric will be back with us soon. Both of the pictures of the co-hosts are on the screen right here in front of you. Hopefully, Lyric will be back soon. She had to go to Chicago to visit her family. Sponsors, if you would like to sponsor Table Talk Morning Show, we keep it conservative on this show. If you would like to sponsor the show, all you got to do is text 936-333-1969. I'm sorry, I lost my text. I lost the interview. That's for an interview. But if you would like to sponsor the show, all you got to do is text sponsor to 936-333-1969. If you would like to sponsor the morning show. Okay, well, never mind. There it is right there on the screen. If you would like to sponsor the show or the station, text sponsorship to 346-779-5831. We have very, very, very budget-friendly sponsorship packages here. Very budget-friendly advertising and promotion sponsorships here. Please give us a call. Give us a text. That's my personal number on the screen. We support small businesses all day, every day, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. We will also highlight music artists on this show. If you're a music artist and you would like to also interview with one of our shows, interview with Chosen, interview with Lyric, please text us. Text interview to 936-333-1969. That's text interview to 936-333-1969. If you would like to sponsor the show or the station, text sponsorship to 346-779-5831. Nobody's going to promote you like Real Talk 100 Radio. I promise you that. I want you to pay particular attention to some of the hyperlinks I put in the comments to highlight some other small businesses like A Taste of Love Wine. I want you to go right now to A Taste of Love Wine, right there on the screen. A Taste of Love, A Taste of Love .love. Go to atasteoflove.love. That's www.atasteoflove.love and taste some delicious wine. She'll be here tomorrow night, Thursday night. No, I'm sorry. Today is Thursday. She'll be here tonight on the Divas Dose. She'll be here tonight on the Divas Dose podcast from 8 o'clock to 9 o'clock. She'll be bringing some wine in. We'll be sitting around drinking wine. Y'all tune in later for A Taste of Love Wine. These are the ladies right here. They'll be here with me later. Taste of Love. This is all of the ladies right here on the screen. The lady who owns the wine company is right here on your far left, sitting down. The one that's on your far left, sitting down, she's Dr. Love. She's going to be in here talking about love tonight. The topic for tonight from 8 o'clock to 9 o'clock will be exactly this. It'll be exactly single and ready to mingle. But if you are single and ready to mingle and you have a butt, please call in tonight. Tune in on our YouTube channel. This is the actual wine. This is Dr. Love right here. Go and check her wine out right now, everybody, at www.atasteoflove.love. Go and check her wine out and call in tonight to find out how you can get your own bottles, plural, or case of wine. We'll see y'all later on tonight from 8 o'clock to 9 o'clock on the Divas Dose podcast. Go and follow Divas Dose podcast on Instagram and Facebook. That's all we got this morning. We'll see y'all later on tonight from 8 o'clock to 9 o'clock to see these ladies right here on the Divas Dose podcast on Real Talk 100 Radio. We'll see y'all later. Y'all have a good afternoon.